Hi there, this is Kathy Crow here at the Crow Garden, and for those of you on my team wondering why I'm doing this here, I am doing it on purpose so that I can upload this later. So this is private just for us for now, but later it is going to be going onto my page while my Kathy Crow's cards page. So thank you for joining me, everybody. I appreciate it, but I won't be speaking specifically to my team like I normally would do on this page. So just giving you the heads up, don't put any embarrassing comments in there. Actually, you could, because those won't show up. When I upload this to my other page, it'll be from YouTube and it'll be safe. So you can say whatever you want to if you're with me today, because I know none of you are expecting me to be here. I really wasn't either. I never know exactly when Jeff is going to substitute, and I could be a little more intentional, I suppose, in finding that out, but he oftentimes doesn't know either until just a few days before the event, so it is fine. Today I'm going to do that. I'm going to do some really cool, these are really nice fun folds. And that actually was the only way I could make myself all that happy with this paper. I'm sad to say, but I do like what I've done with it a lot, and I think you're going to like it too. So I'm going to try to put the camera down. I think it's going to be good. I'll have to adjust lights because they aren't, going to be exactly what I need them to be. Because when I have them up like what I need them to be while you guys are looking down here, it's like they're so bright into my face. They're so bright. And then I have to adjust my teacup over here and all of that too. So anyhow, so it does take me a while. I'm not going to have, I am going to put my computer on over there so that I can see comments, because I might, you never know. Sometimes it happens, sometimes it doesn't. Usually it doesn't, because I think mostly because my settings are messed up now, and so that everything's temporarily blocked until I've had a chance to see it from the official site, because I actually started this whole endeavor while refusing to join Facebook. And so, silly me, I did start using Facebook just for this and developed this page, my Kathy Crow's Cards page, and I was doing all of that under my husband, Jeff Crow. So anyway, that's partly why. And then when I try to access it over here on the computer, it's like saying, you can't, because you can't be in two places at one time. It's like, yes, I can. I can be in two places at one time, believe me. So we'll see if it lets me. Sometimes it doesn't really like me to do that. And I don't really know why. We all have so many different devices that I don't know why they don't think that we should be on. I think they've changed that, because I'm thinking I can see it, and so we will see if I do or not, because it's like super delayed too. So when I'm here and recording, I think I'm seeing stuff and then don't, and then I realize, oh, it's just because it's like super delayed. Now, I hope I don't have to pause, because I really can't. I'm going to have to just keep going while I go let the furnace guy in. He is going to be coming through too. To do just a checkup for our AC and heat, and that's not because it's bad. Everything's going good, but man, it's been warm. Even today it's pretty warm, and I want it to stay good. And then it's going to get super cold too, and I want it to stay good for that as well. Now, so I did a cute little fun fold. I don't remember who I saw that one from, but I like the little circles. And then this is the same one, but this is what I've done with the paper, because when I hear the word traditions, I actually think, silly me, of traditions. For me, traditions is not mixing pink and red. You don't mix pink and red, and you also don't do like 4 garish colors on a card. And frankly, the other papers, other than this lovely red, which I really liked, all the ones with a gold foil on them on those sides were color coordinated in a way I didn't like. So I went ahead and just changed it all to suit me, because when you're a card maker, you can do that. You don't have to just buy what there is. You can make it suit you, and I love that. And quick plug, just because this is going out in This actually is going to go out in December, so I guess I won't. I hope you took advantage of the of the kit, the starter kit, because it was really good in October. All right, and if you didn't, then you should have, but at any rate. So I took all of the flowers that I wanted and covered up the red with white on this paper. And then I took all of the red ones and covered up the pink flowers that I didn't like with red. And so now I have a really nice, simple 3-color card. And then this is I'm not going to make these today probably. I don't think I'll have a chance to get to that fun fold. I'll save it for another day. And then, excuse me, this is like one of those, I think it was called a wing thing, but I'm not sure. I know I did this part right. I'm not sure. Oh, I've got allergies here. Oh, excuse me. Oh boy, that's not going away fast. Quick, let me have my tea. Maybe that will help. I hope so. It feels like I've spent a lot of time outside today, so that could be it. Anyhow, I love that. It's beautiful, and I could use that DSP really nicely. And I want to show you how to conserve your gold on that one if I get to it. And then this is just another little fun fold that I liked to use the DSP again, because I do really love this color. It's very, very pretty, but there are only 2 sheets of it. So let's start with the large Z fold. Let me put my instructions up here on my, this is this card, okay, right here at the top. It's very scribbled because that's what I do. I don't know if this is actually not a Z fold. I mean, you could call it a Z fold, but I don't necessarily. I usually think of this more as a joy fold, but I don't really think the names they are. Some people are really careful about which ones they use for which things, but most of us aren't that careful. So I'm going to take a large real red 10 by 7, and I'm going to score it at 2.5 and then at 5 inches also. And I hope I don't know if I've already done this one. So I did one and I didn't do the other because frankly, I ran out of real red. All of my Christmas cards. I couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe I'd run out of real red. I had to get out a 12 by 12 sheet in order to do this. So this one's been cut, but it's not this one. So it's the next card. So let me get that out of the way before I even use it so I don't ruin my stuff. And then this is, so I've got, you'll need 2 sheets for this card, okay? 2 8.5 by 11 sheets. So I'm going to take one and we're going to cut it 10 inches this way. Okay. And then we're going to cut it 7 inches this way. I hope that wasn't my doorbell. Was that my doorbell? I thought I heard a sound. I thought I heard a sound. It's not 2 yet. It shouldn't be then. And then I'm going to turn it again, and I'm going to score it at 2.5 inches. Okay. And then I'm going to score it at 5 inches. I am going to end up running upstairs and downstairs a whole lot today just to be sure I'm not missing the furnace guys, because I'll be so scared. Now you're going to do mountain fold here on the front and the valley fold there in the back. And that part of it is already done, so you don't even have to hang on to that. All right, let me see if I can find my bone folder. There you are. All right, so that you're going to burnish those lines, and then we'll tuck that one over here. And then the other one, the little insert, that one is 8.5 by 5. So this is where your other piece comes in. Did I cut it already? I might have. Let me just check. I don't think I did, because this one's 8.5. Oh, maybe I did. That's 8.5 by 5. So this is just a little bit smaller than my 8.5 by 5.5. Isn't that what we normally do, or is it always 5? Anyway, I scored it at 4.25, and I know that's correct. So this is the little insert that's going in the middle, and that one actually is going to have a nice embossed side. And I will get that all the embossing going when we get all the cutting going. Now you're going to need your DSP, and we're going to do 2 that are 2 1/4 by 6 3/4. I don't have much paper left. What I've used a bunch. And that's going to determine how many cards I get to do. These are my scraps that are left over, and this is my one piece that's left over. Okay, so I'm going to do 2 1/4. Actually, I'm going to check my dimensions here, because down here I need a 6 3/4 and a 6 3/4. So none of them are actually going to be short enough to do double of them anyway. So I think I'm going to turn it like this to do this 2 1/4. Okay, so 2 1/4. And I need 2 of them. So there's 1, 2 1/4. Double check again that I make sure my measurement's accurate. 2 1/4, and then I need a 6 3/4. So we'll have to get the little arm out. 6 3/4. Now this paper is so pretty all along, you don't really have to look too careful about what you're cutting off, but I really like the big center flower rather than all the other little leaves. I'm going to cut it so that I'm going to see that really well. And then I'm going to cut this one that way too. So I'm cutting off more of the actual poinsettia. I'm not sure what this little, looks almost like an anemone. So 6 3/4. I hope that's correct, because it doesn't really sound right. But anyway, we will find out. All right, and then I'm going to use some gold. Where is it? There you are. Okay, I'm going to use some gold foil. Now this is not the distressed gold foil that's out there. This is just a standard gold, nothing fancy on it. It's just a gold cardstock piece. But I need the centers from my other pieces to get this center. Because what I did is because I didn't want to just waste all this gold foil. What I did is I cut these 3 circles from the deckled circles set. Then I cut out this circle and this circle from those centers. You know, and I think I ended up with an extra one that I used on one of the other cards, because I did 3 and I didn't use the other 3rd one here. So anyhow, so I need that. So I'm going to go ahead and do my deckled circles for this card, even though that's a card I'm probably not going to get to today. But if you hang around on another day, you'll probably see it. So I'm using the deckled ones, not because it's necessarily my favorite, but because there are so many layers to it. I hope this is still available. It's like, I hope it is, but I don't know. And so there we go. It is the 4th one down, and I need 3 of those. I'm not sure if I can get 3 from here. I might have to actually get out a different sheet. So let me make sure I have a different sheet, because if I don't, then I need to go with a whole different color, because I need 3 of these to match. And in that particular pack, they weren't. So I might have to go with one of my newer products rather than gold, because I'm not seeing gold right now. I'm seeing like tons of other colors here. I do hoard the gold foil when Stampin' Up puts out a new one. Ah, there you are. I see one now. All right, and actually this is gold anyway, so I don't want, this must be copper. I don't want new copper. I actually want gold. So we'll get out a whole fresh gold sheet. I'm sure they do have this. They pretty much keep their gold and silver standard ones all the time, so I'm sure they do. And I'm going to be conserving here, so I'm going to go ahead and cut around the pieces that I'm going to use. Oh, those are my quilting scissors. I don't want to use those. Heavens to Betsy. All right, today I have had a very exciting day already because I went out on a bike ride today and very foolishly got off the track. Very foolishly, and I had enough time this morning that I thought, oh, I'm gonna do a little exploring today, and I'm not gonna stay exactly where I should. And that was a big mistake that I won't make again, because I got myself into quite a predicament. And I prayed, God answered my prayer, He showed me how to get out of it, and I came away with a very big scrape on my leg. But it was a blackberry vine, I guess. I didn't even know we had blackberry vines here because, anyway, so I'm safe. But I found, unfortunately for me, it was fine for the person because they, I'm sure, weren't there. It was out in a lonely place, like down near a culvert, and oh my goodness, you wouldn't believe where I'd gotten myself to. Just trying to find a shortcut from one path to another path, and I'll never do that again. I don't know my way around, and I should have just opened a map. I have one on my phone. So foolish. Anyway, there was a parking lot like right up there, I know, but I had to go like through a field and up a hill through brambles to get it there, and I was just praying that I was going to succeed, and did. So anyhow, that was an exciting day, but that wasn't even the only thing that happened, because I was on the path for my bike. Let me remove our instructions here. And riding along really happily, just enjoying it greatly. And I saw this flash of white out of the corner of my eye, coming along pretty brisk pace. I didn't think about it, but I should have. Wasn't going fast anyway. I was going super slow because I just put down the path, really enjoying all of the woods and the birds singing. The smells. The Osage oranges are blooming, or have their big balls down on the ground now. Big orange, green, chartreuse green things, and they're wonderful. So anyhow, and also there's tons of walnuts all over the path, tons of them. So I have to be a little careful because if I roll my bike on one of those, it'll throw me. So anyway, a doe came. Like right beside me. She was running faster than I was riding my bike, because that wouldn't be hard to do. And I saw her out of the corner of my eye and watched her. She ran up and ahead of me, crossed the path up about, maybe 20 feet from me. I don't know, maybe not that far. And then turned her body and looked at me like, oh, there's somebody on this path. I had no idea. And then she bounded off, and I could watch her bounding up the hill, and she was so pretty and beautiful. And by the time I got past her then and she was gone, I thought, you dope. The next time, that was beautiful, and thank you, God, so much for that. It was really nice to match eyes with a doe like that, and for me to see her little eyes go open a little bit when she realized, oh, there's somebody on this path. But on the other hand, they do actually just bound right into you. If she had bounded right into me on my bike, I would have been sent for a tizzy. I would have been thrown off. I could have been seriously injured. So that was very foolish of me to keep going madly. Now what you want to do is take this is the one that I'm going to be using for my DSP. So I don't want to use this one. I want to use a smaller one so that I can glue my DSP over the top, but I want it to be big enough that it's going to make a substantial, tag. And I don't need one that big. So we're going to go ahead and get this one out. This must be the size I'm using. It's, wow, it's like right in the middle. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It's the 7th one out from the center. Okay, and then and just make sure that you're not using one that's going to be too large, that you can't easily glue paper around to cover that blank center. But this way you're not using all of that gold And it doesn't cost a ton, but it's very pretty. And so you end up with this, but that will work for this card. And for all of the centers in this card, I might hang on to those, and I will use those on another video, because I can tell right now I'm never going to get through more than just one card today with the furnace guy coming. And I should check my phone right now and make sure he hasn't tried to text me. Well, oh, I know what that sound was. I wonder if that was my alert, because it did alert me that that he's coming. I have alerts set all the time for absolutely everything, so that I don't find myself on the other side of Springfield at a time that I was supposed to be home. Boy, that's awfully nice to be able to do. I never had a watch that gave me alerts like that, but I always thought that was so cool. And now with everyone having their own phone, you can easily set that up, and then you don't have to ever miss appointments and things. But you might, but you shouldn't. Because of that, you shouldn't. All right, we're going to be done with this for now. And then I will finish this card on another day. That's what these are for, is this card. Okay? So let's get back to the one we're actually working on. And it won't take us too long. Now let me reset my camera, because it looks like it's cattywonkers. Okay. I guess that's good enough. I can't really tell. I'll look again in a minute. All right, so now what we want to do, I do need to emboss though. So let's grab this out again, and we're going to emboss the front of this. Now I used a very old Parisian flourish. That's what I used, because it has some really nice scroll work, but anything, that you like already will work. So I'm going to take this, and I'm going to kind of position it the way I want it. It doesn't really matter how it's fitting in, so I'll go ahead and run it through the correct way. And this one actually is one of those big, thick 3D ones, so I'll need to do it like this. I'm so excited that I'm getting my Christmas cards done already today. I think by the end of this next week, I will have every single one of my Christmas cards all done, and that's going to be really nice for me. So I'm going to have a plethora of them to use to send out this year. And by the time this video comes out, they will probably all be sent out, maybe. We'll see. All right, now I did score it already. Just make sure you're turning it up the way you want it. And now we're ready to apply that, because it's just going to go on the inside here. Okay, and your little flower is going to go there. So you're just going to set it so that you've got a nice border on this side. You've got a matching border on that side. So let me put this down just a little, because I think it's pretty far away. And then we can see it. Anyway, so when I was, the deer was so pretty, but she took off. But I was so excited to see that, because I'd seen, I don't think it was the same doe with her twin. They were pretty exciting to see about a week ago. It's been so nice to be able to get out on the path. And today was a perfect day for bike riding. It's absolutely perfect. Now on this inside part, if you see, I kind of messed up, and I should have only just embossed up to the score line, but it looks fine. It's just going to be, my writing is going to have to fit here, or I'm going to have to cut out a white piece to write on. And if I'm going to do that, then I just better do it now. Oh, do I want white? I am using white. Okay, very good. So I think I'd rather have a bigger piece than that. So let's grab something slight. I've got my little white scraps here. That's better. I think I'm going to do a little die really quickly. I don't think I want a circle one. I could do a circle one. Would a circle one look good? Actually, it might. So let's just use the same circle, kind of a good sized one. That's too big. And let's see. No, that's too big also. Because, of course, it has to be able to close. That's going to be so small. I'm going to use it anyway. Oh, boy. Let's see if I need the smaller one. I bet you I could use the smaller one. I can, barely, but I can. So I'm going to just cut that out on the side. Now, in doing this, I would probably be more inclined, maybe, if I didn't already have a whole bunch of these flowers cut out, I would probably more likely stamp on the white piece rather than, you know, fussy cutting out another bouquet of flowers. But I've already got those all cut out, and so for me, it's going to be no problem to just do that. But I don't want to glue that on until after I've got this on. So we're going to glue this on. This is my space that I'm going to have to write. And now I can glue on my little flowers. They're so cute. Let me find one of the bunches. All right, so here's one of the bunches. They did have trios of red in this pack, so I did not have to layer colors for all of them, just for some. Maybe I want to do it there. That'll give me more space for writing there, and then that's going to close there, and then all we have to do is put on our DSP. I would, of course, with real red, do my sentiment in there if I didn't feel like I needed all that space for writing. But I think I might need all that space for writing, so I'm not going to do that. We'll stick this one here. Okay, so pretty. So with a DSP that's as gorgeous as this, you do not need, you know, to spend a lot of time coloring and stamping and all of that. And I do really like these little flower bunches. It's just, it was very tedious to cut them all out because they actually came on a sheet of various colored flowers. Oops, I want that on the inside. And then your gold, it's going to go right here on the side like this. Okay, so I'm going to just glue this down right here. Make sure I'm getting it all the way over so that I don't have any glue sticking out there. And then I would do my white tag. And I just need another little flower bunch. Grab another little flower bunch. I think I've got one all cut out in here. If I don't, then I'm going to have to quick. Oh, this is one with red, which is fine. This one's got green. I kind of wanted to stick with the same ones, and I'm pretty sure I have one in here all cut out. But of course, who knows? Maybe not. We'll see. I'm going to pause through my collection here. See if I see one. And I'm not. Isn't that amazing? I have made a ton of, oh, there's one. Perfect. All right, so here's my little green. Now this, I'm not going to do the bottom of the bow because it hangs off, and I'm not going to do the tops of those two pieces, but I do want to get as much of it as I possibly can onto that foil tag just to stabilize it all. Okay, so check in to see how I've done this. I want to make sure all of my glue good. Looks like I do have a tiny bit of glue there that I'll have to work on in a bit. And then take your little red dots and put those on there, and that's going to be sweet. And my sentiment. Now for the sentiment, I did an old retired one just because, if I can find you. I didn't want one that was too big. I wanted separate font. This is Words of Cheer. This is a poinsettia I really liked. And I knew if I wanted to stamp a poinsettia that this one would have a good one to do. And it has its own dies and all of that. So Sending Christmas Cheer also just seemed like super appropriate for this set because it's not a religious one at all. So if you have people that you send Christmas cards to that are not Christians, then this is a good, you know, sentiment for them. All right, love that. It's so pretty, real red. You're so pretty. So today, what did I learn? Not to go in front of deer when they are running alongside you on the path because you might get seriously hurt. And don't ever stray from the path. There are signs that say, do not leave the path. And I kind of didn't, because the path intersects with other walking paths, because it connects all over the city of Springfield. And I ended up on a path that led right from it, still the bike path, obviously. It was right by a big canal, you know, so that when there's flooding, the water can run along there. Thankfully, I knew it was not going to be a rainy day, so I wasn't worried about getting suddenly washed away, but that would happen if it was a day that might be raining. So another reason to not be too foolish. Now, there is room for a poinsettia, but with my little flowers there, you don't need that. If you don't have dots, there's little dots in a lot of these Christmas type sets. And so you can always use those too. And let's see where my Christmas dots are. I'm pretty sure I have them right here. At least I should, because I just used them. There you are. Now this is a retired set that I don't know. It was on our clearance rack forever, and I bought a ton of them. They're Cherry Cobbler and Pearl. They came with a poinsettia stamp set that we did a long time ago, but there are all kinds of little red dots on it, and so I'm using them up. I don't think I have enough for this card on all of that, though. I might have to go with something else, but I'll just use one of these here. Okay, and then we'll just use these two down here. And then I'll have room, oops, maybe not there. How about right there? And then we'll have room for my sentiment, and then two for the sentiment on the sides. And then the tag that I used is one of my favorites that I'm using this year, Traditional Labels. It actually probably goes with this set. Since this paper was called Traditions of Christmas, I suspect it did. And that might be why I used it. I don't know. But anyway, it cuts things out really nicely in a little bit different than our normal stitched ones. And it's always nice to have something new. Sometimes, you know, these dies, they don't last forever, but frankly, mine seem to. I don't ever have to buy new ones, it seems like. I just do because I like the different shapes or the different stitching on the side, but they actually last for a long, long time. Ooh, that fell right down out of my container that I keep those all up in. These are so big. And my whole table really jiggles when I do that. I better check that stand and make sure it's not coming down. I don't want that to fall down the other way. Ooh, that would be really bad. All right. So there we go. And then you're going to just glue this right down here. Now I'm gluing everything because these are pretty good sized layers. I'm going to bring this flower up a little and tuck you in there. Oh, so cute. Anyway, I love it. Very nice. Very pretty. I do really like what this makes. It's the red ones are really, really pretty. I'm just not quite as fond of the other ones. Now, I have seen some cards done with the other papers that are very, very pretty. So some people are just more talented, I guess, at putting more colors together or something. All right, there's that one. Now let's do the other one real quick. I think I might not have enough paper to do it. Let's just check. I think, oh, I do. I think, oh, maybe not. This is the last of my real red. This is not enough. I was afraid of that. I'm going to have to come up with something else for this one. So I am going to stop because this is it. I'm going to have to be creative to use these up. And use my this card is like a little flip locking one that's pretty cute that I felt like these flowers could keep down nicely. And I do really like that winged one. That winged one's fun, but I can use that on a whole bunch of different ones. Oh, there's another whole sheet. Ah, there you go. I thought I had enough to do one more card. I do. So let's do this one, and then we'll be all done. This one is also going to be very, very fast. In fact, I'd say this one's even quicker. The only difference is that I should have probably just stamped this sentiment while I had everything out. Let's just do that. And then I'll have that much done anyway, and then we can finish and be done before my heater guy gets here. And interrupts us. Hopefully he hasn't arrived yet. Oh, it would be so awful if I missed him. Because, you know, this is the first time I've used these guys, so I don't want to make them mad. And whenever you find, this is somebody who is recommended to us by a neighbor, so anytime you find somebody that's a reliable one that works on any of your appliances or your house or certainly my heating and cooling, that is like super vital to have. Okay, I'm going to cut this out with that same little label over here on the side, so I have that one done, and then we'll just continue on with the next card. So you've got two little fun folds to look at today, and I just think that any Christmas paper you have on hand, if you use them, or something that you've made yourself, because there's not so much of it that you couldn't make it yourself. You could, in fact. All right, so now we're going to take our label and stick that on the side. So for this card, let me move these out of the way. All right, I'm calling this my tuck flap slim card because that's what it is. It's a tuck and a flap. It's a flap and it has a tuck and it's slim. It's not as long as some, but this one is a little bit shorter, and it fits in one of those A7 envelopes. 11 by 7 is what I need for my first cut. And I thought I had done this one. Maybe I didn't. I cut some paper out. What did I cut it for if it wasn't for this one? This is 7. Oh, 11, it is this one. So I believe I've already cut it, but let me just check and see before I say that for sure. So I've already cut it 7 inches this direction, and then I'm turning it and making sure that it is indeed 11 inches, and it is. Okay, so now that we're at 11 inches, we are gonna score this long side. We're going to score it at 3 inches and 7 inches. Okay, so 3 inches and 7 inches. Okay, and so you end up again with a kind of a, let me see if I need it to go this way instead. Yes, I do, because of my edge. I don't want it to show too much there. Perfect. I didn't score it apparently perfectly. Let me fix that with my bone folder. Where did you go? There you are. Okay, there we go. All right, now your DSP is 2 3/4 again by 6 3/4, and then in just one of those, and then 3 3/4 by 6 3/4, one of those, and 1/2 of an inch. That's just this little skinny one, so you might have some left over, hopefully. So let's see, I'm gonna check my length here and see, is this 6 3/4? Because it's not. It's close, but not. Let's try this way. It is this way, but I want to make sure that I have enough to get all of this. So I need actually about 6.5 inches, and it looks like I barely have enough going this way. Barely. So I'm going to go ahead then and cut it going this way. So 2 3/4 of an inch, and then 3 3/4 of an inch. Okay, and then that's pretty close to my 1/2 of an inch. It's a little more. It's actually 1 inch, but I'm going to just leave it at the 1 inch. Let's check and see. Now that would be a little bit wide, so I'm going to go ahead and cut it at the 1/2 of an inch, and that'll give me my little slim piece. Here's another slim one if you want to hang on to it. Only if you're going to use it right away. That's a pretty skinny piece. You don't want to hang on to them too long. And then I'm going to cut each one of these 6 3/4 of an inch. Okay, so 6 3/4 of an inch, and 6 3/4 of an inch. And this one also 6 3/4 of an inch. And now we're ready to just apply. We've got my circle already cut out and ready from that other pack that I did. Although, where are you? There you are. No, that isn't you. I kind of shifted all of my things over, and not sure exactly what I did with my gold circles. I'll find them. They're here someplace. If I don't see them today, then we will just not worry about it. I know it's here somewhere. Where is it? I got all that there. I got all that there. I don't really want to have to cut out another one, but I guess I can if I have to. That is so funny. Here, let's take this and move you. And look, peek here. Nope. No gold circle. What did I do with them? I don't know. All right, so what we're going to do is just put this here. Okay, so let's glue that one on. I could use tape. That might actually be a little bit less messy for me, especially on this long, skinny one. I've already got some glue on my arms and on my, and it wasn't from that scrape. I was so glad I have a little, in my little fanny pack that I always keep with me. I was so glad that I had my little first aid kit with some alcohol ink and all, so that I could put my Band-Aids on and get my my sores all taken care of just in case, you know. There was some weird thing that was on my leg from that, in case it wasn't a blackberry vine either. That was kind of important to me. Okay, so this one's going here, skinny one there, fat one there. I think I'm going to use my other surreptitious glue on the side quietly, so just don't even listen to what I'm doing. And then my scrape. Anyhow, I lost my whole train of thought because I was thinking about my illegal gluing. All right, I'm making sure I'm getting the right side of the flap, because I just don't have extra paper to be thrown around here today. This kind of has to be it. And that's the one I want to put there. Isn't it beautiful? I do really like these DSPs for quick cards. They're very fun. I'm still trying to think what I did with that gold. So I've also learned not to go through those tunnels on my bike. today I was like, thank you so much, God. Actually, the last 2 times I've gone on a bike ride, God has really saved me from some things. And I think I already told you about going through the tunnel. But I've decided I have to walk through the tunnel because there was a lady in there with a dog that lunged and was like ferocious and it would have been seriously bad. But she did have a hold of, there they are. She did have a hold of the dog, so it wasn't gonna get me, but yeah, it could definitely have. And it was just because my bike made a big kerchunk sound when I came through the tunnel near her. And just thought, you know, there used to be signs posted. My exercise guru at the, not guru, but it's the one. Oh, I see what I did. I cut they had blue ribbon, like this pool party here. So I cut the ribbons that were red and I just covered them up and glued them right on here because I knew I would be just fussy cutting this out anyway. Now you can just, you know, cut the blue off and you could pretty easily just glue, if you're gluing it on a card, you could glue that ribbon right with this and it would look okay if you're trying to get a uniform color like I've done, which by the way, I already said, it's what I call traditional. So I've decided I'm not using terms incorrectly anymore. So that's why I'm going to be just calling what I'm doing traditional, because it is actually. And there are new traditions that come along that I do actually like, and I like people being able to choose their own traditions. If you, like when purple became a traditional color, and mauve and brown, and like all kinds of colors have become traditional colors. Well, they probably are, and they're beautiful. I just happen to be one of these monocolored nuts, so I don't like to mix them up too much. Now, I heard a weird sound upstairs just now. I don't think it's Jeff coming home already. I don't think. It could be. Is today Friday? No, today is not Friday, so I don't think so. I don't see any notifications on my phone, like they've arrived and where are you? I hope not. So you can see fussy cutting this out, slightly tedious, but not that big a deal. Not if you're not doing too many of them. I actually did a whole bunch, so I took probably 2 evenings on my sofa whilst watching TV with Jeff. Watching Pickers, American Pickers. We do a lot of American Pickers. And there's a new show that I really like that we've watched most of the seasons available now called Fixer to Fabulous. Oh, it is so fun. And it's from a couple that lives in Bentonville, Arkansas. So it's closer to us. So that makes it more fun too. So this one I want to put on the side. And you want your dimensionals under here so you can tuck this. Now you don't have to do this. It's just that sometimes I don't have enough room to write on. So if I really want to add more sentiment or have more writing space, this gives me the opportunity to do that. So that's why I'm making this a little tuck and flap card. But I do need those dimensionals to be like flat right here against this thing because it needs to tuck down. It needs to be able to be really well secured and tucked down. But I'm pretty sure I can get 3 on the back of this. And then maybe 1 mini after I've done this part of it. Oops, that one's a little bit on the close to the fold side. So I'm actually going to do 2. I think I'm going to do 2 mini or not mini, but regular dimensionals here, just to give enough of a rise that it's not going to be so hard to tuck. Especially with this DSP, it's not super strong, and it's lightweight. It's I think it's not medium weight. It's lightweight cardstock. So I don't want it to be having too hard of a time here. So it's sticking out on the side just a bit, but that's because it's over far enough that it had to be. And I can't put it here too much. I can here on this side of it, but not on this side of it, as you can see. So I'm just not going to worry about it because this card isn't designed to last forever, and this is good enough. So now that I've done that, we're going to put our label on. I did really want to do this little ribbon. It's so pretty. This is our red and gold ribbon that we maybe have. I don't know, but we had it a while ago, and now I have leftovers of it, and I'm using it all up because I think it's really pretty. So let me go grab some of that. I'll use my quilt scissors for that. And see if I can find it easy. Oh, good, I did. Fabulous. It's actually a really, really pretty ribbon. I really like it. Make sure I have a nice edge. Okay. And so what we're gonna do is just, oh, it's kind of short. It's way too short. I might have to go cut another one because that's like super, super short. I could do it on the side over here. Maybe I'll do that. Yeah, I could. I don't think I like that as well, but I can. I think I'm gonna just go cut another piece. That's seriously not long enough. I needed it to be at least 2 more inches and maybe even longer than that. So I usually cut them way too long. So I don't know what I'm thinking here, but we're gonna go way long this time just to be on the safe side. And then I'll think, you foolish person, you've just wasted a whole bunch. But the thing is, because I have this piece, if I did, and I did, then now it's easier to arrange. Now I'm going to take my dimensionals and stick this. That's how I want I'm gonna do this. And then this way, that's gonna secure that ribbon down pretty well. Okay, and I'm positive this will fit in there nicely. I think that's adequate. And then I'm gonna put 2 on the back sides to make sure that it's adhering to that gold really well. Now, I hope you watch my video when I do the fold-out card. That's going to be coming next week because by the time you see this, it'll be time to have finished ordering and having your cards and getting them out. Because this one is set to go out, I think it is going to be December, which is actually pretty late. You would have to be ordering and buying and making for next year's Christmas cards if it's actually December when this comes out. But anyhow, let's make our little flag endings here like that. So sweet. And I'll just use these because I'm kind of using them up because, like I said, I have a bunch of them. And you might too. Isn't that pretty? So pretty. And that is that. So these are the cards that we did today. I hope you enjoyed my video. If you do, make sure you subscribe to my YouTube page. And I like to do fun fulls, so you'll see a few of them. These are ones that I just kind of made up myself. But I try to give credit to the ones that I get that are from other people. Most of the time, they're ones that have been done so many times by so many people that I don't even really remember who it was that I was watching when I got it. So it could be that I didn't get them mentioned, and I hate that when that happens because they work really hard on things. So anyhow, if you go to my page, though, you probably would see other people that I follow, and you might want to follow them too. They're really talented. So have a wonderful week. Thank you so much, ladies, for hanging in there with me. And you just keep thanking God for all the good things he gives. He gives so many good things. And I think that's it. This, for me right now, this is the end of September. And it is beautiful out there and has been so much fun to see our little groundhog. He's actually quite large. He's huge, and he's fun. So I'm gonna go peek and see if he's out there. He might be by now. All right, see you later. Bye.